I made some really bad business decisions, some really bad investment decisions that bit me in the butt. And when I look back and I said, I knew better. Like, why did I make these decisions? I want to share two particular things when it comes to decision making, because decision making is extremely important for your success in your business, in your relationships, in all aspects of your life. And I'll do a separate video specifically on how to make better decisions. And the reason is because life is just a series of two things: making decisions and taking action. And that's all it is. If you want to have a better business, you got to make better decisions and take more effective action. If you want to have a better relationship, you got to make better decisions and take more effective action. You want to have better health, you just have to make better decisions and take more effective action. That's all it is. And if you make a series of better decisions, and I'm not saying perfect decisions because there is a difference, there is no such thing as a perfect decision. But if you make better decisions, you're going to get to your outcome a lot faster and a lot easier. And you will probably avoid a lot of the challenges, not all of the challenges. But one of the biggest reasons why people face these problems or challenges is that they are actually repeat challenges. They are repeat problems. It's because you haven't learned from the decisions that you were making in the past. But here I want to specifically talk about two things that you need to pay attention to. These are my two rules when it comes to making decisions. And these are the two things that we work with entrepreneurs on, business owners on, executive team leaders, is when you are making decisions, you have to ensure that you are not doing these two things. And the first one is that you never make a decision when you're angry. You never make a decision when you are in a state or a negative state of emotions. And I don't like to use the word negative because I think negative is overused. What you may consider to be negative, I may not. But I like to use this instead: disempowering state. And a disempowering state is just simply a state that is not allowing you or is hindering you from achieving your goals. And typically, things such as, or emotions such as sadness, anxiety, anger, frustration, all of these emotions that are mainly disempowering will actually impact your decision-making abilities. Here's just a simple example. How many times have you made a decision when you were angry and you regretted it after? Probably more than you'd like to admit. And the same goes here. I know some of the worst decisions that I've made were in times when I was actually angry. Had those emotions of anger or sadness. Sometimes I made decisions out of haste and just out of pure reaction rather than having an effective response. And those are two different things. You want to be able to respond to the world. You want to be able to respond to your challenges and problems, not necessarily react to them. And so reactions typically occur when you are in a state of anger or sadness, disappointment, frustration, all of those disempowering emotions. So if you find yourself in that state, you got to wait to make a decision, or you got to actively change your state so that you are in a more empowering state, such as being more optimistic, being more level-headed, maybe being more content, excited, whatever it is, but putting yourself in a state where you are able to make an effective decision. That is the first thing that you need to understand. Never make a decision when you have disempowering emotions. Now, the second thing is just as important. You never make decisions when you are low energy. Now, there's different types of energy. There's cognitive energy, there's emotional energy, and there's physical energy. So physical one is fairly simple. There's actually a fourth one, and I'll talk about that too. But your physical energy, let's just say you're really tired, you're really exhausted, maybe you're sick, whatever that is, right? That's physical energy. Emotional energy is maybe you've just gone through a challenge, or maybe it's an argument that you had, and you're just not feeling, like there's a gut feeling or whatever it may be, like your heart has sunk a little bit, but there's an emotional fatigue. You're low energy when it comes to the emotional level that you have. And then the third level, or the third type of energy, is cognitive energy. And yes, you can get low on cognitive energy because your brain consumes up to 25% of your calories on a daily basis. So you just may be fatiguing your mental capacity, and maybe you've just been overthinking certain things, or maybe you're in a state of overwhelm, but you can fatigue that cognitive ability that you have, that cognitive energy. And then there's a fourth level, which I talk about, which is spiritual energy. And that spiritual energy, when you've just been drained so long, you might have physical energy, you might have emotional energy, you might have cognitive energy, but your soul feels drained. That's the type of energy that I'm talking about when I talk about spiritual energy. And if you're low on any one of those 4 aspects of energy, you're not going to be able to make effective decisions. I've been there. I've made some really bad business decisions, some really bad investment decisions that bit me in the butt. And when I look back and I said, I knew better. Like, why did I make these decisions? What was going through my mind? Like, intellectually, I understood the situation that I was in. I had the skills and the knowledge to be able to get through and make effective decisions, but I just didn't. And the reason is because I didn't have enough energy. I was cognitively low on energy, emotionally low on energy, and probably even spiritually as well. Physically, I was okay, but those other 3 areas I was low. And I was making decisions when I was not in a high energy state. So instead of being in a low energy state, you have to be in a high energy state, in an empowering state to make effective decisions. And here's the biggest reason why, is because your brain will function more effectively, your body will function more effectively, your brain and your body are attached, remember, and they allow you to make effective decisions. So when you are in a better state and you have more energy, your brain and body are going to be more aligned to actually making effective decisions and being more creative and coming up with new opportunities and solutions when you come up against a challenge or a really tough decision that you have to make. So let's just simplify this. If you are in a state which you have low emotions or low energy, pause or just transition yourself if you have the ability to, which you can if you do the proper training, which is what we help men with, is to go from a low energy or a disempowering state immediately to a high energy and a highly empowered state. So they have that much control and mastery over themselves so they can make better decisions and take more effective action. So that's what you need to be able to do. And if you aren't able to transition yourself immediately, then you simply have to wait to be in a state and have the emotions to make more effective decisions. Here's my personal example. I do not make decisions after 6 o'clock, any major decisions after 6 o'clock, maybe sometimes 7 o'clock when it comes to business or a relationship or anything, because I know that I'm in a lower energy state. That's actually typically when my biggest doubts pop up in my head, is when I'm in a low energy state in the evening, and I have to shut that down because I know where my mind is going. I don't have that same level of energy. And sometimes I have to make a decision, but then I have to do certain things to get myself to a high energy level. But I know for the most part, after in the evening, it's family time. I'm not there to make any big major decisions or life altering decisions because my energy isn't quite at that level. And so that has done me very well. So if you are finding yourself in time periods throughout the day where you're lower energy, or maybe it's in the evening, whatever it may be. Maybe it's after lunch, because a lot of people get lethargic after lunch. Then you got to ensure that you either get yourself in a very empowering state with high energy, or you just wait until you have that level of energy and state to make those decisions. I hope this helps.